So, unless you were living under a rock, today, September 12th, 2017, you saw the Apple event where they unveiled not only the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, but they unveiled the new iPhone X. So, basically, everything that I expected came to fruition. First of all, the iPhone 8 obviously gets a faster CPU, more, memory management, better power management whatsoever. The typical things. A faster camera that takes slightly better pictures. To be perfectly honest, it's gotten to the point with Apple where even though I'm extremely satisfied with everything that they're putting together for us each and every year, I basically know exactly what to expect. Now, the iPhone X is the new iPhone, and that's already been leaked. Now, so they're saying that you're going to get 2 hours better battery life than the iPhone 7, and I've been very happy with my iPhone 7 256 gigabyte plus model. They're saying that obviously it's going to read your face and that there's going to be a new face scanner, which basically puts in all the algorithms that it needs. There's going to be all types of new stuff, like Apple's designed its own GPU, its own ISP, and all this other stuff that most people don't really understand. But when you put it all together, what comes down to is the fact that it's a newer and better iPhone. See, the thing that these Galaxy fanboys don't understand, and I don't mind admitting that I'm an iPhone fanboy, because the simple fact of the matter is, when I'm shelling out money, I demand the best. If these Galaxy phones were so fantastic, I would have a Galaxy phone. I don't have a Galaxy phone because I don't want one. And that should tell you something right then and there. So anyway, the simple fact of the matter is, Apple's products are refined. Now, they don't just jump on the next newest gimmick and just throw it into their next product, not knowing how the market's going to react, and then take it out once they figure out that it's probably not working as well as it should. And I mean, I have people on my Facebook, they're jumping in there. Oh, yeah, well, we had that in the Galaxy. We had that years ago. Apple's so slow, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, try using one of their phones and try getting the apps to run without crashing, or try running any of their software without bugs. And just try using that dull-ass interface that doesn't even seem to fit the phone. It looks like it's supposed to be on a tablet. It's like, no, thank you. I just don't want that. Bottom line is this. Most people, there's been a lot of journalists, $1,000, man, that's too much for an iPhone. Well, $1,000 is the low number. I paid $999 for my iPhone 7 Plus 256 gigabyte. So I was actually a little disappointed when they said that the iPhone X is going to start at $999 and only have 64 gigabytes, because I think that's stupid. If this thing is really that powerful, that thing should have no less than 128. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, all of the Plus models should be 128 to start, and they should have 256 as the next level up. Because ultimately, when you take all these 4K videos and pictures, you end up running out of space faster. But I'm assuming that probably next year you'll see 512 gigabytes being offered, and that'll be a really nice addition. But to tell you the truth, I'm extremely happy with 256 gigabytes. I never feel like I'm running out of space. The NAND flash performs flawlessly under no matter what I'm trying to do with it, whether I'm editing a video in 4K or whatever. It doesn't even matter. It performs flawlessly, and I'm very, very, very happy with it. The incremental changes that have been made to the iPhone X, I have to say the only thing that bothers me is the fact that the new screen design isn't a 100% rectangle, or at least 100% rectangular or circular at the edges, but mostly rectangular. The little edge that's at the top of the phone kind of bothers me, because I don't know what it would be like to really watch a video on one. And I would have to assume that, the edge that is blacked out because of the speakers and all that, I'd have to assume that that might be a little bit distracting. But other than that, I mean, for them to say that, okay, you get a faster CPU, you get a faster camera, but you get 2 hours extra of battery life, that in and of itself is enough to sell me. Because as you know, I'm most interested in the camera, the battery life, and the ability to edit the videos. All things being equal, as these CPUs get faster and faster, 4K video is like, editing it will become like 1080p video where it doesn't take that much time to do it. Down the road, we'll probably see, them trying to throw higher end standards after us. But to tell you the God's honest truth, for what these phones do, where you can just take pictures and share them on Facebook, and Facebook takes your videos and drops them to 720p. It doesn't matter if you've got 4K or not. Or if you're videoing like I am and sharing it on YouTube, and YouTube doesn't always give you the full 4K. It's like our infrastructure in this country is not even at the point where these incremental changes can really be felt. The human eye, for the most part, will have more of an easy time seeing HDR video and HDR pictures than it will seeing 4K, depending upon the distance you're sitting away from the screen or standing away from the screen. I'm extremely satisfied with the current resolution on my iPhone 7 Plus. All of these phones that have come out, oh yeah, well, iPhone doesn't have 4K, we've got 4K. All they did was they threw this display that's relatively untested onto their device just to say that they had it. They take one little thing, one little gimmick, just to be better than iPhone. That's how pathetic the marketing craze has gotten. See, I'm looking for real change, like more battery life. I like. Better camera, faster camera, I like. But at this point, when you're sharing things on the internet, how much better do you need a camera to be? 12 megapixels in and of itself is more than enough. 4K video, I tell you honestly, I see the difference better with 1080p 60 frames per second than I see with the 4K 30 frames per second, because the 30 frame per second, it doesn't flow as smoothly as the 60 frame per second. And I've seen some of the video uploads that I've done, and I really prefer the 1080p 60 frames per second. Now, 4K 60 frames per second, that will be awesome. I'd be happy to have that, just so you could play it back on a 4K television. But for the most part, most people don't even have 4K televisions because they're still nursing their 1080p television that they bought a couple of years ago, and it's going to last them a couple more years because these televisions are actually, they last a pretty good long time. But by the time all of the infrastructure actually catches up to 4K and our set-top boxes for Fios and cable, by the time all that stuff catches up, they're going to be at like 8K or something. Because even right now, you've got Toshiba and Samsung trying to push these 8K monitors to these dumbass early adopters for like $15,000. And you have absolutely nothing that can run those things unless you've spent $4,000 or $5,000 on GeForce Titan XP video cards. It's like, it doesn't make sense at a certain point. But that's the way the market works. Right now, they're going to sell you 4K. They're going to show you the 8K TV that costs 3 times as much. And over time, 8K will dwindle down and it'll be where 4K is now, and the 4Ks will be thrown off the shelves. So, as you buy more and more of this shit, you'll just be sending more money over to Shenzhen, China, and, helping keep the prostitutes out of the barbershops. So, ultimately, Apple has definitely met my expectations with the iPhone X. The iPhone 8 and the 8 Plus, they are basically exactly what I'm holding right now as far as the exterior is concerned, but the interior is obviously a little bit faster. Time will tell how people feel about not having a physical home button. Time will tell how people feel about the face unlock. However, what I can say is that Apple thoroughly tests its products, and I'm very certain that most of the details and gimmicks will have probably been worked out. Do I think that some people are going to say that, oh yeah, well, I can deal without the home button? Honestly, I really don't know, because the thing about it is the home button isn't just a button. The home button is like an indent in the phone that allows you to tactily feel whether the phone is upright or upside down. So I can actually feel it at night. I don't even have to look at the phone. I can feel it in the pitch black darkness and know exactly what side the phone is on and whether or not it's right side up. So the no home button, I think, is going to be an issue. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Some people might say, yeah, I'm a little upset about that. But the thing about it is they've let you know up front that it doesn't have a home button and it doesn't have the fingerprint ID. And the fingerprint ID is something I absolutely love. But what they're basically saying is, yes, we've tested this thing and tested this thing and tested this thing. And we're certain that if you're the standard user, that you're going to like the face recognition feature more than the home button. So all I can say is time will tell. I'm going to order my iPhone X on, I believe it's October 27th or 29th or whatever. And I believe you get it like November 3rd or 4th or whatever. So I'm going to skip iPhone 8. I'm going to go straight to iPhone X. More than likely, just about everybody else is going to do the same shit. Because when you really think about it, the iPhone X may be 100 or 200 or whatever, $100 more than the iPhone 8 Plus. But these people are mostly buying these things on credit cards anyway. And for that chance to have theirs on day one of when it's released, the hysteria and the media hype pretty much pushes it out there to say, yes, well, guess what? This is a luxury device. If you've got $1,000, if you've got $2,000 or whatever, if you got $1,500, then you'll be out there first and you'll be able to afford it. The people who can't afford it, well, you can buy iPhone SE 6, 7, 8, whatever. We don't really care. We're looking for the people who come for the iPhone X. And that's basically what it is. Because, I mean, you're buying the thing on your credit card anyway. So whether you pay it off in a month or 2 or 3 or 4, I'm going to pay mine off the next day because I got the cash. But the whole thing about it is I'm pretty sure, and the sad thing is all of these Galaxy, Android, and Samsung fanboys, they want the iPhone X to fail. But simply because people will be paying for it on their credit card, and simply because they've told us that you've got until October 20 whatever to save your money, I guarantee you that those things will absolutely sell out on day one, probably within a couple of hours, considering what we've been seeing, like with the Nintendo Classic, the SNES Classic, the Genesis Classic. Those things are going to sell out instantaneously. Meanwhile, T-Mobile and other cell phones for children companies are going to be trying to push their Android copy-paste rip-off nonsense on the public as an excuse and as an apology for all the explosions that happened back when they released the last Samsung whatever.